Let's dive into the hidden costs of crypto. First of all, trading fees. In crypto, you have spot trading and futures trading. The average fees on spot for maker orders are 0.1 to 0.2% and taker orders 0.1 to 0.4%. Of course, varies exchange to exchange, but those are the average fee rates. Now, for anyone wondering, a maker order is a limit order, so a passive order on the books, and a taker order is a market order, so an aggressive order on the books, taking liquidity. When it comes to futures, it's a bit different. Maker and taker are 0.02% and 0.06% respectively on average. Again, varies exchange to exchange, but fees overall, they are charged on entry and exit in any trade, whether spot or futures. So if you are scalping 10 to 20 times per day, that adds up. And most traders don't account for this when position sizing. Because when you open a trade and when you close a trade, that incurs a cost. And let's say your trade loses, that also incurs a cost. So if you're looking to lose a fixed percentage of your portfolio every single trade, you need to account for the cost of trading fees when you're sizing your positions so that you don't take outsized losers, which will really accumulate over time if you don't manage this correctly. So you have to reduce your size to account for the fees, which are going to be based on your exchange and which order type you're using. Number two, slippage. This is the difference between the price you want to buy and sell at and the price you actually get on the exchange. So slippage happens when you use market orders because that's taking liquidity from the books. It doesn't occur when you use limit orders as that's actively giving liquidity to the order book. And therefore, it happens when liquidity is thin, when you have volatility spikes, and that often occurs when you have big news events or catalysts. Also, depending on the trading pair you're using, liquidity can be thicker or thinner. For example, if you're trading Bitcoin, that's going to have more liquidity than trading altcoins. And the smaller the altcoin, the thinner liquidity is going to be. In addition to that, the exchange you're trading on will have different liquidity. So someone like Binance or Bybit are going to have the most liquidity as they have the biggest volumes, they have the most traders, the most capital using their exchanges and filling up their order books, whereas your more speculative exchanges are going to have less liquidity on their pairs. So those are the different options you can meddle with to improve any slippage problems. So let me take you through an example. Let's say you try to long Bitcoin at 100,000. You get slippage, so your actual fill occurs at 100,150. That's 0.15% instantly gone. On 20x leverage, that's 3% off your account just from execution. Most traders don't account for this when position sizing. So just like trading fees, you have to account for slippage with your position sizing and therefore reduce your position size on a given trade so that your losses are not oversized and you manage your risk effectively with that fixed percentage of your portfolio. So both trading fees and slippage have to be accounted for. We can manage slippage by using exchanges that are more liquid, trading more liquid pairs, but it must be accounted for. Number three, funding rates. Now this is exclusive to crypto and perpetual futures to be specific. And you can see on your exchange, like the image shown, the funding rates of any given crypto pair. The neutral rate is 0.01% because crypto tends to be long biased. So that's what you'll typically see rather than 0%. And how they work is as follows. Perpetual futures, they charge a funding fee every 8 hours. But it's not a typical fee. You could actually be getting paid or you could be paying your counterparts. So let me explain. If funding is positive, anyone holding a long will pay anyone holding a short every 8 hours. If funding is negative, everyone holding a short will pay everyone holding along every 8 hours. The reason funding rates exist is to keep the perpetual futures price close and in line with the spot price of the asset. Because if the perpetual futures price is too far above the spot price, funding rate will be positive and longs will have to pay shorts, which incentivizes longs to close and shorts to open, which will reduce the gap, and vice versa. If the perpetual futures price is too far below the spot price, shorts are incentivized to close and longs are incentivized to open to correct that gap. So funding rates, they sound small, but over days or weeks, it adds up. Let me give you an example. So let's say the funding rate is 0.01% every 8 hours, so neutral. That's 0.03% per day, 0.9% per month. Holding a leveraged long swing trade, your margin is going to be bleeding quietly. And that's just the neutral rate. So if funding creeps up to 0.015, 0.02, 0.03, which often happens in crazy bull markets and especially on altcoins where funding rates are much more volatile, that fee for holding along over an extended period of time will really build up. So a lot of people talk about holding 3x longs, 2x longs from the bear market to the bull market, not realizing that they're going to pay 30%, 40%, 50% annualized in funding rate fees for being long. Because generally, as I said, funding rate, neutral rate is 0.01%, so longs are generally always paying shorts outside of scenarios where there are short squeezes. And when that funding rate rises, as it does during a bull market, the amount you're paying shorts increases and your margin bleeds and your liquidation price therefore goes up and up and up. And if you don't keep this managed, you can end up getting liquidated. So when holding positions for anything longer than 1 month, 2 months, it makes sense to hold it on spot, not leverage, because this is a hidden fee that gets traders. And those that think they can just hold a 3x and 2x and that's the way to go, it's often because they don't understand how funding rates work. So overall, how to minimize costs. Number 1, position size properly. Make sure you account for trading fees, slippage, and funding rates in any of your positions. If your system averages 0.5% per trade, but your costs are 0.2%, your real edge is 0.3%. Most traders never calculate this. Number 2, trade where liquidity is. Choose liquid exchanges like Binance, like Bybit. Choose liquid trading pairs like Bitcoin and the majors. Choose the exchanges and the times where volume is at its highest, because that's when you're going to get the best spread. Thin books are a hidden tax in crypto, and especially in altcoins, especially during volatility when those books are very thin. So understand it and make sure you account for it. Number 3, use spot for longer term holds. Perpetual futures bleed positions through funding payments over time. Whereas on spot, you have no funding payments. Plus, you're not holding a position on an exchange where you have counterparty risk of all your capital, because it's not your keys, not your coins, whenever it's on the exchange. So instead of holding that 2x, 3x long, thinking it's a good idea, understand funding rates, the cost of them, understand the hidden costs of crypto, and counterparty risk.